Earlier this year, the Bank of Canada announced that they're going to be holding interest rates for the foreseeable future, and that's what they've done for the last two meetings. And at the same time, the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem has said that by holding rates, there's a risk of Canadian inflation getting stuck well above the target of 2%. And if that happens, the Bank of Canada will be ready to increase interest rates. Now, unfortunately, this week we got some somewhat concerning news that inflation actually increased in April compared to March. And this is the first month-over-month increase that we've seen since inflation peaked back in June of 2022. So just for a quick summary, in March, inflation was down to 4.3%, down almost a whole percent from 5.2 in February. And in April, there was projections to be around 4% for inflation, and it actually jumped up to 4.4. Now, I know that's a pretty small jump, and some would call that stable because it's an increase of 0.1%. But the problem is what Tiff Macklem outlined, is that the reason the Bank of Canada increases interest rates, did so much in the last 18 months, is to combat inflation and bring those numbers down. And if their monetary policy isn't working and inflation starts to creep back up, then the Bank of Canada will be forced to increase interest rates. So why did inflation actually go up rather than going down like economists had predicted? Well, it said that higher rent and higher mortgage interest costs were the biggest contributor to the increased April inflation numbers. And you may wonder, how have mortgage costs gone up if interest rates have remained unchanged? Well, this year we've seen home prices increase every single month, so financing a home has gotten more expensive as we progress through the year. And on the rental side of things, because we're in an environment with higher interest rates, a lot of buyers have had to turn to renting, causing a higher demand and in turn increasing the rental prices in the market. The Bank of Canada's next meeting is on June 7th. And the big question now is this enough to force the Bank of Canada to increase the interest rates, or are they going to continue to hold them where they are? Now, most lead economists in the industry are saying that although this is somewhat concerning to see, it's not enough in their minds for the Bank of Canada to start to increase interest rates. Now, that being said, if we get to June and we find out May inflation has remained unchanged or even increased, then I think we're going to be in much higher risk that the Bank of Canada is going to increase interest rates. And if they do so, it's probably going to be a small increase, like 0.25%, but still nonetheless, that is going to change things in the real estate market. Well, like we saw last year, when interest rates start to go up, demand goes down and the market moves away from the strong seller's market that it's in. That being said, if the Bank of Canada is doing an increase like 0.25%, I do not think it's enough to change the market that we're in right now. We are in a very strong spring market with low levels of inventory, high levels of demand, and lots of competition out there between buyers. And buyers have gotten used to this new interest rate environment. So it's going to take a lot more than one small increase to change and shift the market that we're currently in. That being said, we can't predict the future and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But what we do know is that we will be here to update you when anything changes in the real estate market. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.